Alright, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about how Apple is scamming a lot of people. So let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, you already know the iPhone 16 series has just been announced and is on pre-order right now. It's coming out very soon, I think within the next 2 weeks. And a lot of people are very disappointed. Some people are excited, they're coming from like a broken iPhone 12 or a broken iPhone 11 and they're happy to upgrade to the newest phone. And with this launch, I feel like Apple is blatantly scamming a lot of people and nobody's really talking about it. Nobody's really realizing it, at least from what I've seen online. And a lot of people don't realize they're getting finessed or co-opted by Apple. So let's go back to the iPhone 15 series from last year. So as you guys know, iPhone 15 came out in 2023 towards the end of the year, I think around September. The same, usual stuff that Apple does every single year. They put out the new iPhone in that quarter of the year. And there was something that was different about the iPhone 15. I mean, they kind of started this with the 14s, but there was a little difference with the 15. And the difference is that the 15 base model has a different chip than the 15 Pros. So basically the 15 Pros get the new chip, new processor, and then the 15 base model this is, like I said, similar to the 14s, which is why I think the 14 base models were just not worth it at all, unless you wanted the Plus, because that's a bigger phone that is not Pro. I just felt like the 14s were a blatant scam because the only difference was just one extra GPU over the 13 series. So you should have just bought that to save money. However, the 15s are a better upgrade than the 14s, but there's a little plot that I want to show you guys. So yeah, as I said, the 15s have the A16 chip and not the new A17 Pro chip. And now with the release of the 16s are going to get this new AI, Apple Intelligence, amazing AI stuff that they're trying to advertise and they announce. But the 15s, even though they are capable and powerful enough, only the Pro models are going to get Apple Intelligence. So there's kind of like in my eyes, there's kind of a plot. There's kind of intentional obsolescence and setting up the base model phones to be replaced within a year, rather than people keeping them for a long duration, like how they did with previous iPhones. Like there's people who still use the iPhone 10s, the 10s, the 10R. Some people even still use the 8s. The 8s are still pretty popular on Facebook Marketplace. And Apple, it seems like they're kind of slowly trying to discontinue that trend of keeping your phone for a long time, even though they quote unquote support these phones for a very long time. They have some of the longest software support in the game, but it seems like they're sneakily trying to get people off of the older phones within a year. Because as I said, the 15 is very powerful. It's a very powerful phone. It has the same chip as the 14 Pros, which is powerful. They intentionally put that slightly older chip in the base model 15 so that when the 16s come out, you're gonna have to upgrade to the 16 base model at least to get the new AI stuff that Apple is putting out. Like, I don't know how nobody's talking about this, but it's just crazy to me. Like it connected in my mind. Like yeah, Apple kind of started out with the 14, it was whatever, regular business, putting out a minimal change for the base model phones. Even the Pros are not that different, but like the base model phones are very minimal. This is just like blatant sick right there, like literally, like, oh yeah, like buy this new 15, it has dynamic island, but it has last year's chip, but don't worry about that, it's still good. And then the next year, oh, we're putting out Apple Intelligence, but only the people with the 15 Pros can have access to Apple Intelligence because they have the newer chip. So if you have a base model 15, you got to buy the 16s to get Apple Intelligence. So basically, for the people who like to have the new features to stay updated, there's a lot of customers who genuinely don't know when they're being finessed or co-opted by these companies. They don't understand how these companies are taking advantage of them. Like there was an elderly lady, I heard a story. She came into the store and she was like trying to buy a new phone, a new iPhone, and she was asking about the 15s and she was trying to see what was worth it. And my friend who works there basically told her like, Apple Intelligence is coming out, the AI stuff is coming out, but the base model 15s will not have that. And the lady was like, she's probably like 80 years old. She's like, AI, ChatGPT, I need that. So give me the 15 Pro Max. So instantly she bought a 1TB 15 Pro Max because she heard AI and ChatGPT and stuff like that. That's the stuff that's popular right now, And obviously, like, I'm not trying to be ageist. Like maybe this 80-year-old woman knows what she's talking about in terms of technology, AI. Maybe she's very proficient in that stuff and she knows what she needs a phone for. However, a lot of the iPhone fan base, user base, are people who just need a phone that works. They don't necessarily understand the ins and outs of technology. They don't understand the back end of stuff. They don't understand like the deeper features on their iPhones. Like they literally just buy an iPhone because it works and it's fast and it's smooth. It has a good camera. Like they're not like a lot of iPhone users, like no disrespect to some people, but a lot of iPhone users are not technical or like super techie people, tech savvy people, you know, they just buy an iPhone, like I said, because it works. So, but oftentimes when there's a new feature, like for example, when portrait mode was new on iPhones, people wanted to hop on portrait mode. They wanted to buy the bigger phone model because the smaller ones didn't have portrait mode. They didn't have the extra camera to do that stuff. So they bought the newer ones, the bigger ones, the more expensive ones to get the new feature. And AI is kind of like that. So this elderly woman, 80 years old probably, was like, I want the 15 Pro Max because it's gonna have AI. So boom, right before the 16th comes out, Apple solidified themselves a sale of the highest end 15 Pro Max for full price, no discounts, because this elderly woman didn't want to miss out on a new feature that is coming out, but it's not going to be supported by the base model, the phone that she probably should have got. She doesn't need the extra camera probably. She doesn't need the extra power of the A17 chip because the A16 is really powerful anyways. The 13 series are still really good phones right now to this day, and they have the A15 chip. So she bought an expensive phone even though she doesn't need all that because of AI, the new feature. And it's like, so this is the plot that Apple is doing. They're scamming a lot of people, I feel like, because like I said, he put out the 15 series, but only the Pros have the new chip. And it's like, okay, yeah, whatever, the A16 is still powerful. And then you come to the next year and put out the 16s, but then introduce AI, the new feature that everyone is talking about, but only the 15 Pros will get access to some of those features. The base model 15s are getting cut from that. So they'll still be supported software-wise, like they're gonna get updates and stuff for a long time, but they're not getting the new AI features. So if you want that, then you kind of screwed yourself by buying a base model 15. And that base model means like the regular 15s, that includes the Plus. So if you bought the 15 or the 15 Plus, you're done, you're screwed. You can't get the AI stuff. You gotta get a 16 or 16 Plus or a 16 Pro or a 15 Pro. So either way, you gotta spend new money to get these new features that Apple is. But no, most likely you're not gonna go to the Facebook market to buy a 15 Pro. A lot of people don't buy second-hand phones because they want it brand new. So basically, essentially what I'm saying is Apple guaranteed themselves new sales for the iPhone 16 series by using tactics that are, honestly, wasteman tactics. So a lot of people are getting co-opted, a lot of people are getting scammed and they don't realize it. So hopefully you do not get scammed. And if you're buying an iPhone, honestly, my recommendation is just to buy the Pro model because you don't want to be left out of new features. Unless you don't care about that stuff, then I think all the iPhones that are out right now or coming out are going to last you the next 10 years easily because of the specs and stuff like that. But if you want to ensure that you have all the new features, because Apple likes to, as you see, cut off the base models because they give them lesser chips and power on purpose, just buy the Pro to ensure that you get all the new features, or at least as long as, Apple allows you to get the new features. You're going to get more than the base model. So yeah, just buy a Pro iPhone. Don't even buy a base model if you are somebody who cares about having all the new features. Otherwise, iPhones, they're good phones. Like, they will last a long time. I still recommend iPhone 11s. I still recommend the 13s. 13 Pro Max is just like a really good phone. It has some of the best battery life on any iPhone, so I still recommend that. The 14s, like, you can go for them. They're going to be good phones, but like, if you're going to get a 14, might as well get a 13, unless the price is similar and get the newer one, obviously. The 15s, I think, is where it's at. Those prices will only go down, and I think you should keep your eyes on a 15 because of USB-C. And I think they just are some of the most significant changes on the iPhone in terms of like USB-C, dynamic island. Like, it just has all the stuff, It's a good place to start if you're trying to get an iPhone for cheaper, but not necessarily the latest iPhone. I recommend the 15s for sure. But definitely the 13s, the 13 Pro Max, 13 Mini, those are some of the best iPhones in terms of value for what you get for the price. Especially nowadays, you can get 13 Pro Max for like 500, 600 Canadian. That's a really good phone that will still last you another like 5-6 years. So, and it has a good camera. Anyways, these are my 2 cents on how Apple is scamming people. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but stay tuned for the next video. We out, peace.